Hi, I'm Patrick Snow, Youth Media Coordinator at ActonTV, and I'm here today with Isabella Hill, a rising ABRHS senior and outreach manager for the nonprofit Kids Teaching Kids, founded right here in Acton. It's a really cool organization that focuses on teaching classes for elementary and middle school students. Am I right about that?
Yes, that's correct.
Yeah, and it's really awesome. Founded by Vanessa Chen. And yeah, could you start out by just giving us a brief history of like when this started, what the idea was?
So Kids Teaching Kids started in 2020 due to COVID, and our founder Vanessa Chen wanted it to be a platform where kids, typically elementary and middle school age, could have a free online resource to learn material typically taught in school and also beyond that. So we offer a wide variety of courses.
That's awesome. And so you were not around at the beginning, you joined partway through?
Yes, so I joined about a year and a half ago, and I was a teacher and now I'm the outreach manager. I still am hoping to teach at some point, but yeah.
Now what is the outreach like? I mean, it sounds like this really began with like a concept during COVID when, you know, how to be of service for kids whose learning might have been impacted by the pandemic. How much has this grown? Like, how many people do you currently have working for this nonprofit?
So we started out with our 3 founders, and then it gradually evolved to now have over 15 teachers and TAs, teacher assistants, and now we have over 500 student enrollments. So these are elementary and middle school age children that are enrolled in our courses. And the outreach, we typically advertise through social media platforms to get the word out, and it's just evolved from starting out to supplement education that was lacking during COVID, like you said, to now offering courses beyond the typical classes taught in school.
Wow, cool. I mean, going to that many students, that's quite an explosion of interest in this. This must be, clearly this is a popular idea. I'm interested to hear your thoughts on maybe what Kids Teaching Kids offers students that might be a little bit different from some of either their usual classes in school or, classes taught by adults in various other fields. Like what is it that's a unique experience for them in this nonprofit setting?
I think it's really helpful that all the teachers are high school students, and so for these younger kids to be able to ask questions, I think they feel more comfortable, and as teachers it's really rewarding for us. So all the high schoolers that are teachers or teachers assistants really shared the feedback that over time throughout the course, typically 10 lessons, the teachers are seeing a lot of growth, students feel more comfortable asking questions, and it's a small setting. Typically we have roughly around 10, maybe 15 students per class. So this just allows for more questions to be asked, whereas in typical classroom settings, if they're larger, the students might not feel as comfortable. So I think it's helpful having that student-to-student teaching style where they feel more comfortable and yeah. Cool.
Yeah, I was meaning to bring up too that when I personally have hosted kids video production camps here, I always like to have a few of my longer time member teens come in to be counselors, and there is something about having an older kid who's not quite an adult yet there that changes the dynamic and in a way that's very, very helpful. I think that there's something about seeing someone just similar enough to you but at that next step that is really, really special. And it's awesome that you have so many volunteers who signed up to do this. And I'm curious, like, among the teens who you have to teach these classes, do you get a mix of, like, are these kids who are thinking of going into elementary education in college, or is it more just sort of like, hey, I want to try something new, get involved in the community? Like what draws people in to want to teach these classes?
I think all of our teachers are really passionate about the subject matters that they're teaching. So a lot of times we have people applying that say, hey, I'm really passionate about history. Could I teach a course? And Kids Teaching Kids provides them the resources to spread their knowledge to younger children. And I think that's rewarding for them to share their information. So it's typically people that are just really interested in a particular subject matter. We even have somebody teaching a chess class over the summer. So it can be, you know, just
cool.
a hobby turned into a class. And yeah.
Cool. One of the things that I like about that too is that, you know, I'm guessing that for the most part, these are teens who went through some of the same classes that these kids did a few years ago if they've gone through the ABRHS school system. And I feel like, you know, sometimes you hear from parents who are like trying to help their kid learn even just basic math, and they'll be looking at like the worksheets or whatever and be like, they didn't teach it this way when I was growing up. So to also have somebody who's young enough and, you know, from a similar generation, they probably have a better sense of where these kids are at in what they're learning to be able to craft the courses around.
I think so. We even have somebody, there's a lot of intro to high school courses. Our most popular, our most popular are typically in English, where middle schoolers will sign up to kind of get ahead in the courses that are taught at AB, or it's just they're really interested in English, want to know more, and that sort of thing. So yeah.
Yeah, do you think that also, I mean, I imagine especially at the middle schoolers, that really, they must have so much curiosity of just what their high school experience is going to be like, I imagine.
I think so, and it's also an opportunity for them to ask us about our high school experience with these courses, and to just get a better sense for what the types of content they'll be receiving looks like. And our lessons are usually formatted with some interactive kind of lessons where the teachers will ask questions and the kids can answer, or Kahoot games, so things that are fun for them to interact with. Yeah.
Oh, that's so cool. So you say you largely do a lot of your marketing through social media, and if anybody is seeing this and has never heard of Kids Teaching Kids before, what would you recommend for their next step for reaching out?
Well, I think for high schoolers who are interested in either, you know, sharing their knowledge with younger students, you don't have to be a teacher or have experience working with younger kids. It could just be an interest. And I think from experience, it's been really rewarding for me teaching a course on English and now as outreach manager. So the next step would be just to look around on our website. We have applications rolling throughout the school year. And you can build your own schedule, really. So if you're a teacher, you can pick the amount of classes that you're teaching. You get volunteer hours for it, which is something that a lot of high schoolers are looking into. And then I guess for middle schoolers and elementary age students, just to poke around on our website, see if any courses are of interest. They can reach out to one of the instructors, our founder, Vanchika Kumar, to either request a course or just see what we're offering. So yeah.
Oh, so request, like, do you get specific requests then as far as like, oh, we're not currently teaching this, but someone's curious, like, oh, could you do a course on some kind of subject?
We're definitely interested to hear student feedback. So if there's a course we're not offering that there's a lot of interest for, we'll try to see if one of our teachers would be interested in teaching that. Wow,
that's awesome. That's so cool. It sounds like you're continuing to evolve along with the needs of the students that you're working with. And with 500 kids you've worked with so far, it sounds like you could definitely be in need of more ABRHS volunteers.
That's true. Yeah.
What's the minimum like age grade qualifications
to become a teacher? Typically, we do have some freshmen, just really anybody that's passionate about the subject matter. There really isn't an age requirement, but it typically is older high schoolers who are teaching. But some people start off as TAs, and you could be in middle school, a late middle schooler, just wanting to learn more about the courses that are taught and just see how other teachers are teaching. I think that can be a helpful experience.
That's always a wonderful way to start out.
But always to apply and then just hear back from us, but there's always opportunities, so I'd encourage people to reach out.
All right, that's wonderful. I think that this is a phenomenal resource for people to be able to take advantage of. And, you know, you don't necessarily, I like that everything is evolving as you go to figure out what works best for the students, and the students helping the students. It's just such a cool, awesome form of community building. What has this experience meant for you personally, just having been on this journey?
Yeah, I think it's been great just to see the amount of classes growing, hear back from high schoolers who are interested, and a lot of it is word of mouth, where you might have a friend who's interested or starting to teach at KTK, and then they tell their friends and more people join. So I think that's really rewarding, just to start working with people you know in the school district, and just to see the students grow in the courses. I know I mentioned that before, but just it really is a great experience to be able to spread your own knowledge, your own tips and tricks with people that are really interested in learning. So it's been really rewarding, and just great to see the Kids Teaching Kids grow and the students, their engagement in it. Yeah.
That's wonderful. And you'll be continuing throughout your senior year working with us? Wonderful.
Yeah.
Are you looking at any dream classes that you'd like to teach someday?
Honestly, I'm not quite sure. I've kind of stuck with the English track, but I'd love to teach maybe another English type of variety, even an art class. I'm very interested in that.
Oh, that
so
would
that
be
might
cool.
fun. Yeah.
Yeah, I can definitely see that being something that could actually work reasonably well over a Zoom format, you know, that visual aid aspect of it. And so for these courses, we've kind of went over this a little bit before, but what is the cost associated for any of these classes?
All of our courses are taught on Zoom, and they're all for free, so everything is completely free. Yep.
And then for any of the students teaching it as well, this will count towards their volunteer community service hours, right?
That's correct. Yes.
That's awesome too. Yeah, we get a lot of. I know I get a lot of questions about that for people coming into ActonTV to do stuff as well. How many? Do you have an estimate of the number of hours that someone who is signing up to teach a course or be a TA can expect to get through that for community service?
It typically depends. If you're a teacher starting off wanting to teach a course, you can choose the amount of classes, and because these are younger kids, we don't like to have 2-hour class blocks or anything like that. So they are shorter chunks of time, but it really depends on the teacher, how many lessons they're planning. But just for, you also get volunteer hours for prepping the course. So all the time it takes you to make the slideshows, make the interactive Kahoots, all of that.
Yeah, that's a huge amount of work.
Exactly. So that all kind of factors into those total volunteer hours. But it really depends. But yeah.
So finally, for any parents or students who may be watching this, where should they reach out if they are absolutely interested and ready to sign up for some classes?
Our website is kidsteachingkidsacton.com, and we have several social media platforms with the Kids Teaching Kids username, and parents and interested students can register for our courses on the website and also apply to be a member through the website.
Wonderful. Thank you so much for coming today and for bringing this to our attention. We'll certainly be spreading the word to all the parents and students we know in Acton. This is just like, sometimes we hear about an idea that just kind of, it seems so simple, and yet you realize that it's a little bit surprising, but it makes you so happy and feel just good that this is happening, because it's a wonderful resource both for kids to just expand anything they want to study, and to especially to be able to have that interaction with you know, their next up peers of kids who can tell them a little bit more like what it's going to be like as they study going forward. It's just so cool. Congratulations on all the excellent work.
Thank you, and thank you for having me.
Of course, we'll have you back anytime you got more courses to offer, and we'll chat more.
Thank you.